Well, I'm under the truck now, and it's not too bad. There's only 2 bolts holding it, and there's a ground strap on this bottom one here. But the front differential's right here. Actually, I just put a new U-joint in there not too long ago. So the starter, sorry about the terrible camera angles and stuff, but it's not easy to get at. The bottom bolt's right here, but the top bolt you kind of got to wrap your arm around, and there's really no room to swing a big ratchet, so I'm just using a little 1/4 inch ratchet. There's only 2 wires on the back of the starter, so there's only 2 nuts there and 2 bolts holding it on, but there's not a lot of room to get at the top one. It's really up in there, so I actually wrapped my hand around the oil pan, sorta. I get my hand up in there, and then I can work on the top bolt. Sorry about the terrible camera, shaky camera. Well, I broke down and went and got a new one, so it looks identical, so that's good. This one here, you can see a flat spot here. They're really tight to get them in and out where the front differential is and the oil pan and everything. So I might actually have to, you know, shave a little bit off here just to get it in. And I don't mind doing that. But aside from that, everything looks identical. But it came with some papers, and I think there's a test sheet. So here's something interesting. Attention Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, and Mazda. To reduce the risk of premature failure. And they're showing the little solenoid wire. Some of them are spade type. Mine is actually a nut and bolt, so it bolts on. But it says to cut off like a couple inches, and you can do a conversion with this type. But it says about corrosion on the end of the wire, and the one that I removed, the wire actually broke, and I had to repair it. And it was repaired like this, but it wasn't done very well, and there was a little corrosion, so I did have to do that again, but it was already done once before. So the only way I could get the original one out was to take it apart. So I could not get it down through there, no how, beyond this flange. So I cut a flat spot, and then they seem to fit like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this. Okay, so I'm laying on the ground, and it's about 5 below zero. Everything's icy. The starter's supposed to come through here. That's the ground wire. So I could not get it through here, no how. That's why I decided to make these flat spots. Flat spot like that. Because it's the only way I could get it up in there. But I guess if you have a 2-wheel drive, I guess it'd be a lot easier, because this is the front diff right here, front differential. But she's really close right there. I think the bottom comes out first, so I think the nose cone goes in first. I might take these nuts off here, don't lose them, but they got to come off in order for the wire to go on. Oh, I think I dropped the washer down my sleeve. Oh, she's cold. Everything's cold. So it just goes in there. It's only 2 bolts. It's not really difficult. Yeah, I think the washer went up my sleeve. It's cold too. So it's only 2 bolts holding it in. So that's not really a big deal. But getting your hand up into the top bolt is tricky. And getting it in and out of this hole is tricky. So I made a flat spot. I know that's probably not the best way to do it, but it works for me. And I don't really zero flocks. I don't really care too much. If I can get one of these bolts started, I'll be happy because my fingers are absolutely frozen. Well, this is the bottom bolt. It's pretty easy to get at. The top one is a little more tricky, and the wires on the top a little more tricky. Oh, that's it right there. It's the bottom bolt right there. It's not tight yet, but I gotta put the top bolt in. Well, you can almost see the top bolt from this angle, but I do have the ratchet on it. It's really up in there, and then the 2 wires are back here too. But it's no fun because it's really tight spot. The only ratchet I can get up in there is a 1/4 drive. This is where the solenoid wire was repaired once, and then I repaired it again because it just fell apart right there. So I did that yellow one there. I could probably wrap it with some shrink wrap or tape just in case, but I got the wires on there and just enough room to get the little 1/4 inch ratchet in here. But ultimately I ended up putting a new starter on it, and she runs again. Oh, the old Ford broke down again. Typical Fords. So we're going to be changing the starter on the Ranger because normally it goes brum brum brum, but right now it goes click 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 click. So that's not good. Hey buddy. Yeah.